Hi, it's Eric from SKXMOD again. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the compatibilities of inner parts, like hands, dials, and hour markers, etc. for GA and the newest GA-B solar series and put the theories into test. Consequently, we've prepared a 2110 and a B2100. You can verify that from the markings on their casebacks as well. If not, Casio also specified the B2100's unique properties on the dial, marked tough solar and Bluetooth. But other than that, when it comes to the size of them, they are virtually the same. However, does the inner part interchangeable as well? Well, that's the question we're going to solve today. We'll see if the standard GA parts on the market and the ones we made can be fitted on the B2100 model. Again, for this mod and test, we've prepared a rainbow hour marker. Also, to match with the text on the dial, a sky blue hour and minute hand, a yellow small hand for sub-dial. For disassembly, the 4 screws securing the caseback need to be removed. Remember to keep your screws in a safe place. They are fiddly and easy to lose in carpet. So on the underside of the caseback, we can see a sheet of piezoelectric buzzer. That's what makes the watch beep. Also specify how to activate the watch from the battery change and the battery model as well. The reason why they limited the make and model of the battery is because B2100 is a solar powered watch. Its battery needs to be discharged and recharged multiple times from absorbing sunlight and stay functioning. For detailed functions, you can check out the last video we made. So after removing the caseback and read on the text, there is this insulating rubber pad you need to remove as well. Next, you can use a flat-headed screwdriver to pry the movement out. So the movement is out, but the hour marker is coming along, and stick to it with a double-sided tape. Which is pretty weird indeed. Seems like the hour marker is separated this time and kept by a steel ring. Can only be removed from the top side, which is not an easy replacement anymore like GA series. Don't know if Casio being intentional on this or what, but it seems like a buzz on the modding possibilities if you are using the standard GA parts. From what I've observed, not only you have to remove the glass to change the hour marker on this is a bit different from the GA ones as well. The shape, the size. Let's take a deeper look on the hour marker placement they use on B2100 and the differences from the GAs. For one, the GAs is attached to the dial, also easily removable, just a simple double-sided tape. And secondly, the shape of it is slightly different from all the ones you saw on the market or anywhere. You see, the GA one having multiple anchor points under its indices. It's more obvious when it's looked at horizontally. You can see all the bumps and ridges. Whereas this one has none, all flattened out by this steel ring. Still, very confused that Casio chose this method to hold their hour marker. Unfortunately, the ones you make use now is not the final solution for this particular model. The dial, So all the current third-party dials are made on a steel or copper-based plate. A big no-no for this model, or actually for all solar watch too. A bus as well, but we can always check on the other aspects, see what we can learn from it. Not to mention a giant notch in the 12 o'clock was gone. Anchor points for the hour marker was gone too. Since it's elevated, no need for them, I guess. Last but not least, the B2100 is now locked by the anchor points at 3, 6 and 12 o'clock, where the GA's was 3, 6 and 9. A simple change of position. Well played indeed. And that left us one part remains, the hands. Guess that's what we'll be tinkering in the next half of this video. Or maybe not, you never know if Casio is up to no good. Normally there is something like this, specifically made for watch hands removal, a piece of plastic shaped like hoops to protect your dial from scratching, but you can always makeshift one like I did here, using a plastic bag or a microwave plastic wrap. And talk about scratching, I meant scratching from the lifting process of these two forks. So first, gently slide them underneath the hands. And a side note, best if you can align them in the same direction first, less a chance for you to damage the hands in that way. And apply even pressure pressing the forks down. And don't forget to use the tweezers to take them somewhere nice and safe. Small parts are easy to get lost. Same idea on the small hand, but a bit tricky this time because it was sunken within the sub-dial, not really having a flat surface for us to maneuver with those forks. But we can try this. Instead of laying the protection under the hands, we'll cover it on the top with a piece of soft plastic and find the right angle to pop it right off. Now with the final hand removed, we can see if the GAs are compatible with it. On the left side you have your original handset from B2100. The hands in the right made to fit in 2100 and 2110 series. But honestly, from the look of it, they are pretty much the same spec and size from my naked eye. Remember, our hands first, then the main hand. So obviously you'll need to place the hand gently on the top of the canyon pinion, and then get your watch hand pressing to. Again, even but gradually increase pressure to tap it into place. By the way, all the tools in this episode are available and may become in set on Amazon or eBay, so there is no worries messing up the watch as long as you follow the guide. And it's not rocket science, we live in 21st century with YouTube. Usually you need to line up the hands pointing up north or 12 o'clock as straight as possible for hands alignment to exact hour and minute. But most of Casio's analog-digit watch, they always have this manual align function. You can always do that after the modding done. Not to mention you can override the process on your phone using Bluetooth. Done and done. It wasn't that frightening, was it? It'll need some alignment for sure, but it's an easy fix. Since we got that done, now let's move on to the small hand. Like I said, there is no need for 100% exact alignment on the installation stage. Get a direction in ballpark and tap it into place, and fix it later with the Bluetooth app or manually within the watch. Let's take a look how it goes. All nicely seated where it should be, and I don't see a dent or bending. Mission accomplished. So, conclusion time. Our marker and the dial is a bus and a bus. The only current working part is the hands, but we'll try to mix them accordingly. Because the popularity of it is off the chart, people do love Casio's watches when it's with solar, And who knows, maybe a multi-band variant is coming on its way. You never know, this method did work on the 5600 squares. But enough about chit chat. Seriously, talking about this hour marker of B2100. Even if you wanted to paint the original hour marker or chapter ring yourself, you need proper tools to remove the glass, then the chapter ring, then the marker itself. But never mind what I've said if you got all of that and a pair of steady hands. Anyway, it's about time to put them back together. Let's give it a blow, and we are not in a dust-free laboratory after all. And just the steps you've done in reverse and get the movement back into the case with a wiggle or two. After pushing the movement to a certain degree, don't forget to push down all 4 actuators connecting the buttons. When it's done correctly, you'll be having a totally flat surface like I do, and most importantly, all buttons will be functioning. Last but not least, the final piece before closing the case back off, the insulating rubber pad. If you don't know the orientation, please look for these 3 contact points. They are always on the upper side against the case back. And the spring connecting the piezoelectric buzzer should be going through the hole. So there you have it. After the internal stuff is all assembled, now it's time to finish off with the case back. One more time, orientation. Markings on the case back and text on the dial should be pointing at the same direction. And that way, and only that way, this watch will make sound. Otherwise, it will go into silence mode. Okay, that's about it for part 1. We'll see you again in no time. Ciao for now.